Hello everybody. Now we will continue with the purchase transactions, which are order, receipts and invoice. You can reach these transactions under stock, transactions, purchase orders, purchase receipts and purchase invoices. First of all, we will start with the purchase orders, which is the first step of a transaction. You can add a purchase order slip either using Add New button or just right click on the browser and select New option. First of all, we need to enter the header information of the slip, which is the slip number, the date information, and accounts receivable and accounts payable information. Also, division and warehouse information are defined on this section. By clicking on three dots on the code section, you will be able to see the accounts receivable and payables browser. And you can select the related accounts receivable and payable. And on the line section, you can choose the material. On the slip lines, you should be defining the quantity and the unit price of the material, of the selected material. Let's say we will have 5 of Go Plus International 001 from a unit price of 2,500 Turkish lira. On the lines, you can also define the VAT rate. It can be changed manually. Let's say rather than 18, we will have 9% of VAT on the total amount. When you first save the purchase order slip, the status will be proposal. To be able to transfer it to the purchase receipt, purchase dispatch, you have to change the status by right-clicking on the slip, choose Approval Info, and change it from proposal to deliverable, and click on Save. Right now, our purchase order slip is ready to be delivered. You can either use right mouse button menu to generate a sales receipt by choosing Deliver, and purchase receipt slip will be opened automatically with the same information as you entered in the purchase order slip. But you can still edit the quantity, unit price, VAT rate, and so on. Without changing anything, I am just clicking on Save button. So my order status right now is closed, because I delivered the whole quantity which I entered in the purchase order slip. If we go to the purchase receipts browser, we will be able to see the automatically generated purchase receipts. So we can view the slip. You can see 5 quantity of Go Plus International 001 with the same unit price which we have entered in the purchase order slip. Now let's generate another purchase order slip. Right now let's use the accounts receivable and payables 002. And on the material section, let's use Go Plus International 002. We can have 10 quantity at the price of 2000 Turkish lira. Also, you can renumber the slip or change the date of it. As mentioned before, if the status of the purchase order slip is proposal, you cannot deliver it, which means you cannot generate a purchase receipt or purchase invoice over this slip. So first of all, we have to change the approval info of the slip. Change it from proposal to deliverable. Another way of generating purchase receipt, which is related to this second order slip, is over a purchase receipt. From combo box, choose purchase receipt, add new one, and from accounts receivable and payable section, choose the same accounts receivable and payables code which was used in the purchase order slip, and then right click and use transfer order slip or transfer order transaction. You can use either of it. Let's use transfer order slip. You can sort it either by number or by the date. You see, according to the dates, there will be available deliverable purchase order slips listing on this browser. Choose it by double clicking on the left side of the line and click on transfer button. As you see, the purchase order slip information is right now on the purchase receipt. And click on save button. When we check the purchase order slip, you will be able to see the C letter, which stands for closed, which means this order slip is closed because the total quantity of it is already delivered. We can have another example of it. For example, if you have only customer and only vendor type of accounts receivable and payable records, you can only use the vendor type of the record. This time we can have some raw materials, and let's have 20 of raw material 1 and 30 of raw material 2, and 5 and 6. This time we will have an example of how to deliver purchase order lines at different times. As mentioned, first of all, we change the approval info to deliverable. What I want to do is first deliver the first line of my purchase order slip, which means the raw material 1, the quantity of 20 at a price of 5. And click on save button. My purchase receipt is generated only for the raw material 1, which means I go back to the order slips. As you can see, this slip is not closed yet because I did not deliver the whole quantity in it. So let's view the purchase order slip. On the slip lines you can see the undelivered quantity. For the first line, I do not have any undelivered quantity because I already delivered it, which means I generated a purchase receipt, purchase dispatch. But for the second line, I still have an undelivered quantity of 30, which is for raw material 2. So I choose deliver button. Automatically my second line, which was waiting for to be delivered, comes to the lines of receipt. By clicking on save button, I close this purchase order slip. So you can see C stands for closed. So this means that if I have more than one line in my purchase order slip, I don't have to deliver it in one slip. I can deliver my lines partially. The first line is delivered on the slip numbered 3, and the second line is delivered on the slip number 4. This is also valid for the slips which has only one line. Let's see an example of this commercial good. I will have only one line and I will be delivering it partially. Let's say 40 at a price of 2.5. First of all, I change the approval info from proposal to deliverable, and then I choose the option deliver. Now I will edit the quantity. I will write 30 of it and save my receipt. Now I will check the order slip. You see, still on the line I have quantity of 40, but as an undelivered quantity I have 10, because I only delivered 30 of it. in the first slip. So to complete it, to close this order, I use the option deliver again, and the undelivered quantity, which was 10, comes on the lines automatically, and by saving it I close this order again. Orders which are not prepayment do not affect accounts receivable and payables as an amount, as a balance. Of it, 2000, and the net amount of this purchase order slip is 47,200. This amount is not affecting accounts receivable and payables right now. If you click on prepayment option, it will be affecting the accounts receivable and payables balance. Now I expect to see 47,200 on the balance of Turkish vendor. To check it, we will go to main records, accounts receivable and payables, and search for the Turkish customer, Turkish vendor. As you see, the balance is affected as the amount of our purchase order slip, because we have marked the prepayment option. On the browser of order slips, you can also see the type of it, if it is without prepayment or if it is prepayment slip. I will deliver the whole quantity at once and close the order. I go to the purchase receipts browser, and now I can send my receipt to bill. How I can do it? There are two ways. Either by right-clicking on it and choosing bill option, I can generate a bill for this. Let's click on Save button. Main menu, invoice, purchase invoices, and this is our first invoice for the purchase transactions. And now let's see the second type of billing. Let's generate a new purchase order slip. Let's use Iranian vendor. For the material, we can use raw material 2. Let's have a 50 quantity from a price of 15. saving order slip, changing the approval info to deliverable, generating a purchase receipt, and then I go to the purchase invoices browser. This is important. From the combo box, purchase invoice should be selected. I am adding a new purchase invoice, and for the accounts receivable and payable information, you must choose the same accounts payable and receivable. Right click and you can use transfer dispatch receipt option. You can give a date filter. Click on OK. On this browser you will be able to see the dispatches or receipts which are only related to this accounts receivable and payable. Select it from the box, click on OK, and the quantity and the unit price will be transferred to the purchase invoice automatically. Click on Save button and complete the process. Now let's check the accounts receivable and payables records browser. Here we will look for Iranian vendor. So you can see it has a balance of 885. You can also directly generate purchase invoices. You don't have to start with the order, receipt, and then invoice process. Add a new invoice. Let's use English vendor for this time. Choose the material. Let's use Go Plus International 001. Let's have a quantity of 20 at a price of 1000. After saving this purchase invoice, the purchase dispatch will be generated automatically by the program. So you can see. Let's check the purchase receipts. Refresh the browser. And this is our automatically generated purchase receipt for Go Plus International 001. On the details section, you can see the invoice number. This means that this receipt is related to this invoice. Also, on the purchase receipts browser, you will be able to see if this receipt is invoiced or not. I letter on the left side stands for invoiced. If there is nothing written on the left side, it means that these receipts are not invoiced yet.
Thank you for watching our video.